understand your reactions and get over them. Not that you are taking all the whatever thrown at you, but how you react, you're changing. Then you can also tell them naturally, this is what I think, this is what we should happen, this is why we don't have the same relationship and all that. That will help a lot of people to, first of all, don't be a victim, and also don't tolerate, but raise in indignation. And that response usually, that strength that you displayed in the situation really affects the other person, and there may be a better change. But if you, sometimes they want to hurt you and they may engage in kind of behavior, and they want to feel like they are free when they are doing it, so many complications are there. But all, it's a question of mind going that way, this way, either emotional or thought, all is, it's all mind.
Dr. Rao, the key takeaway for me in this is being able to observe yourself
Yeah,
in the process.
that's it. That's a
I've,
be.
I've studied a lot of, and like I said to you,
Yeah,
my teacher always talks about detachment and detachment. And that was
yeah,
a very hard pill for us to swallow, and
yeah.
not just myself, but the whole class.
No, that is true. That is true, because that this detachment is something that is missing in America. That's why so many mindfulness practices, meditation practices, they don't work, because they go to some ashram or something, they do learn these things, but they don't work because on ongoing basis they don't practice. Even if they practice, they never let this attachment to things go. So that's called vairagya. So you have to have this detachment, and also you have to have this practice of things. Then the conditioned mind will be trained and you'll get rid of it, right? So see the
Thank
wit-
you for that.
yeah, the witness consciousness, that is the one you want to hang on to, Tracy. What it is, thing has happened and your mind reacted. Don't blame yourself for that, but don't catch that reaction and go with it, or don't suppress the reaction, go with it. What you want to do is, you just stand on the side and watch that reaction by being the witness consciousness. And once you are there, that is the being that you have. And then you can take a lot of things coming at you, but you still will be detached. I think I told you that guy with the son going on the ship. Did I tell you the story? Way back ancient times, when they were doing all trade on the ships. This man had several ships and he had been doing business on the ships. And he became older, and so he sends his son, because his son also wants to go on the ships and trade to other countries. Usually it takes several months practice, right? Then he goes on the ships, and then after several months he gets the news that the ship he was on drowned and his first son died. So this man says, thank God for your blessings, to the Lord. Everybody thinks he's weird. And then a couple of weeks later, another person comes and says, oh, it was a mistake. It was not your son's ship, somebody else's ship drowned. So he says, oh, thank God for his blessings again. So that means you are so stabilized in your wisdom, you will take pain and pleasure at the same way. So that is called the person who is stabilized in his wisdom. In Sanskrit, it's called Sthita Pragna. So that's a higher state you can go into when you understand the being is permanent, whereas this body, mind, ego, personality, they are all temporary. So you develop the detachment to the temporary things. That is very much not known in the Western life, because they all think this is all permanent, this is how I'm going to enjoy, I have only one life and all. That's why they don't have this stabilized wisdom, where you are non-reactive, but you can respond to things appropriately without emotional reactions.
Doc, I've always heard has an observant mindset when meditating, so you could just look and just observe and not react or respond. But you're saying to take it into actual everyday life.
Yeah, even that is not mindset though. You go in beyond mindset to your
Yes,
witness.
sorry, that was the
Yeah,
wrong word.
yeah,
Okay.
because they will catch that and again they say, oh, there is a mindset. But actually, if you look at it, we may be angry mindset in the morning, we may be very happy mindset in the afternoon, we may be sleeping and all that, right? So our thought, our mindset, everything fluctuates. But the witness consciousness we're talking about, our being, that is never moves. That's where you want to be. There was a question about this in the, I think, Alka, you know Bhagavad Gita, right? She must be knowing it. You know? So this Bhagavad Gita has a chapter in that they mention about this Sthita Prajna, the one who is stabilized in wisdom. How is he? This is about this turning inward too. This is about a question that Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, who is the God incarnate in that. So he asks him, Lord, tell me, what is the way the person in stabilized wisdom talk, sit, behave? How does he take life and all that? Then he goes on to say three important poems right after that question. The first question he takes about that's the one who realized what is permanent in us as the being, as a consciousness, and he is irrelevant to the temporary things. That's why he can see everybody is in that consciousness, witness consciousness. So both may ekta. That is the entire entire summary of that poem. That means in your understanding, in your knowledge, real knowledge, you know we are all one. We are all one in that consciousness. Not our minds, not our body. They were separate and they go on their own way. But then true stabilized person in that wisdom will be stabilized in that understanding that we are all beings. That's why you have to turn inward and realize that. Second poem says, uh, Chit me samata. Chit means mind. Samatha means equanimity, right? That means in your reactions to, hi, Amanda, come up. Nazli, you can also come up if you want to. So, samatha, chitme samatha means whatever the pleasures come, whatever the feelings come in your, say, because you understand this mind we talked about up until now, because you are not that, then you become less and less reactive, and eventually you will only be responding to things, not responding in a negative way, but responding to resolve the problem by preserving all your energy from non-reacting. It's very tough. It's not that easy. But then I described that old man who said that like that when he heard his son died or when his son is alive. He is not elated when he heard the good news. He is not depressed when he heard the bad news. That equanimity is in the mind. That is chit. So first one is both may ekta. In our understanding of human beings are all in one energy. That is the consciousness. And in our mind, we are kind of equanimous when things happen in the life. Okay, that is second poem. And the third poem, he talks about Vyavaharame Asangata. This is what we are talking about. When you lead a life, you are kind of detached. You are not catching things, okay, these are permanent, I want to hold on to it, and then invite suffering. But what you say is, these all come and go. So those are not the important thing. So develop a sense of detachment instead of catching things. Okay, this is a big deal for people who are peaceful, who are not really craving for things that much. You are always grabbing at things. We may do business because the business is something that we're required to do to deliver the service, and then we may make some money, but we are not attached to the money. This is called make the money for the essentials that you need, but don't be the money. Don't let the money make you. So that could be practical that way. So you are not psychologically greedy, psychologically want to hoard things, psychologically want to really put other people down, put your feet on their feet and climb up this ladder of success. All those things will not be there. Suppose you make money, you can use it for good projects. You can use it for your own sustenance and your own basic amenities, your own business needs. So that distinction, if you have it, then money has a good place in your life rather than dictating to you. A lot of people spend time about making a living or thinking about the living. But what we want to is beyond that, all this life, these three poems I told you about, very, very important. And finally, what he says, to have this uh, oneness in our understanding, and to have this equanimity in the mind, and to have this detachment in life with people, with things, with all of that, you need to control your senses first. That is the engine that makes. But the cultures have evolved, even in East and West, is the same thing now. It has evolved such a way that people are um, kind of become more and more grabbing at things, or really understanding only how to make a living, how to make my living better, how to live for small things. They never realize what is inside us is kind of abundant thing that you can touch that. But that's up to each person to evolve into, right? But once you are there, then you will have a outwardly simple life and inwardly very rich life. So most of the world has become struggling for making a living, or struggling for some things that are not really permanent but temporary. So much of suffering comes out of that. I always talk about this abundance of joy within us, the peace and happiness. That's not like something imagined or something that is given to us. It is there. It is what's called, it is covered by our own not knowing. See, it's called avarana. That means like a veil covers that abundance within us. When we remove that veil of ignorance, we can get into this beautiful abundance that is within us. So that's what I was talking about earlier too. Hi, Amanda. I'm nice to see you here. Maybe she's busy. She's not able to talk. Nazli, you have any questions? Yeah, Amanda, go ahead. I thought you were not able to talk.
Oh, so sorry about that. So, yes, thank you so much for having me on stage, Dr. Ra. It's always very, very fulfilling and very meaningful to be hearing all this knowledge and information from you because for some reason, um, I think maybe information got lost and, over time, and, we have various cultures, we have various background.
Yeah.
So for you to be coming onto this app and providing us with all this valuable information, it is definitely something for us to be truly grateful for because um, we have to be able to impart this knowledge as well onto our offsprings and them depart with that knowledge as well to their offspring. So, passing along the valuable information because this is definitely what is needed for us all to be successful. I'm young, I'm just 35, but, I'm trying to create a life for myself as well as we all are doing. But this information that you're sharing now is absolutely definitely something that we should be all incorporating in our day-to-day activity, to be more mindful, turning inwards when you're faced with all these challenges. Because at the end of the day, when you're going through those challenges or you're going through those troubling times, you're definitely going to need something to bounce back off of.
Yeah.
Right? So filling yourself with all this positivity, surrounding yourself with all this positive energy as well is definitely something that you'll be able to fuel yourself going forward with. So again, thank you so much, Dr. Ra, for hosting this amazing space.
That is so true, Amanda. You kind of put the nail in the coffin, like, what it is what are we making the kids of? That's one thing. Other thing is young people, how are they dealing with the stresses, either from the planet, or the lack of wellness, so much of stress and burnout we are creating, and the technology, how the technology is robbing them this capacity to be resilient inside. I think all these things bring me towards this because as a physician, I was worried about all the illnesses that happen, and then we are letting people to be real, even though we know how to teach them proactive wellness and make them come out of that illness and live a very wellness oriented life and for a long time and enjoy. So that way we are robbing people of the real good life. That's one thing. So as a physician who has worked in the field for so long, I was fortunate to practice my kind of medicine because I built up my clinic by myself. I ran it by myself for several years, right? 1997 to 2019, late, right? Just before the pandemic, I sold that clinic. Somebody came and asked, I said, okay, we are not making much money here because all these cuts and all that. And also, I have this hospitalist career, I also have informatician career, and I want to make a statement to the world of health, the world of hospitals and all that. Say what we are doing, we are spending a lot of money, but people are not really healthy because they adopt certain things and they spoil their health. And by the time they realize they have been working hard and then they neglect the health in a way, and then they pay the price for it. Very few people really take care of their health in the sense, that's what the bandwagon of getting on. How can we teach people to be living well for a long time and also enjoy, not like just to live as a vegetable? That's one thing. The other thing was, as I was becoming an informatician, I exposed to this big data, so much of information. I was excited about how I can use the EMR to improve my patients' um, care, but also I was watching what the high technology is doing our brain, our information overload, brain fog, overwhelm, stress, and burnout. That's why I kind of treat physicians with the burnout as an important thing for me, and then for them too. So that's other thing. The other thing is we are kind of sleeping on the planet. See what the destruction that has been going on. I have been following this since 1980. So there is no awareness. There is a very poor understanding about fossil fuel running havoc. Yesterday, there was a big guy came from environmental factors, and he was talking about how the disaster that we are having now. You can see the Canada fires or the Maui destruction with the fires, and also the tremendous cyclones and tornadoes all over the world, Europe, everywhere, right? So all this is going to be much worse unless we do the fossil fuel cutting by really vast percentage right away. One good thing is that in what is the Inflation Reduction Act (IRA) that Biden passed, it's going to address a lot of battery for the cars, so that they will be electrical mostly, and also the solar energy, and then really trying to get rid of the fossil fuel. That's a very good move, but we have to do much more. It's not just a little bit is enough. Okay? That's why I combined all these things into three things, right? You realize that you have abundance within you beyond your body and mind, and touch that, which is what I always talk about, because that's something you got to experience yourself. Once it is pointed out, you got to really do that. That is where all these ancient writings or workings all those help, right? Then you will live with little, and then you live a rich inner life. That is the simple consumption or minimalistic consumption. Okay, so, and also because you are not going after things, you are not stressing over that much, you are able to control your mind, you will have less stress hormones. That's why a simple outward life, high rich inner life, non-reactive responsive life breeds a very good wellness within you. and that is very good for you. For that, you got to turn inward and realize yourself. So that is how I connected all of them. My career as a physician, my understanding of the ancient wisdom, my understanding as a technologist. I can see the damage it can do. So combination, all of that is simple life outwardly, rich inner life, and realize the abundance within us already there, and then you kind of lead a very good wellness life for a long time with the joy, and you will be helping the planet. So it may be weird for some people, but this is reality for me. So that's why I try to come and shout it out here. That's all. Okay. I just saw your message, Amanda. So I'm going to make a model. Amanda has also just joined our team to help us, and she brought luck with her. I already have one wellness member joined today, and she was very happy with me. So I don't know. She said she would show up here, but she has not come yet. Yeah, Amanda. So. You can bring anybody after the check the profile and all that, but there are a couple of people that come and make a lot of ruckus a lot of time. I don't even understand what they talk about. When they come, I will warn them, warn you, so that you understand who they are. You don't have to bother about it now. Okay. So, Alka, how do you feel about that connection between wellness, planet, and the self-realization?
I think always exploring,
Yeah.
like you said about keto.
Yeah.
I listened to last 2 weeks. I think I listened to the podcast Dawn,
Okay.
and listening to it, I think it just every time you listen to it, you learn something different.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of teachings in that as well.
See, one of the things about that kind of text or thing is you really have to take the within your inner war to it. Then you will learn a lot more when you practice that. So it's kind of representative of the war in the middle of which it was happening, is about the war within us, about these forces that are turning us towards the nobility, towards that abundance I talk about, towards pulling us down into the local desires, low, all those things. Okay. Uh, it used to be, at least the East used to be very indifferent to desires and also monetization. But now the ego also, ego and profits. These are the two things that they were kind of poo-pooed it and did not make. But now all over the world, everybody is about these two. Many people have ego, and many people have the profit orientation, don't understand what are the consequences of human life. But now America, I see a lot of people very sincere about this, and they are trying to understand it much better. So that's kind of nice that we are able to understand that and promote that. First of all, my life is pretty balanced because of that. I feel and live in that blessedness, kind of easy abundance that you feel. You don't need anything for that because you're so satisfied. That is something people miss, whether they want you to go and do a religion or follow somebody and all of that. Okay. Uh, that is not really important, in the sense. Okay. Yeah, I see our Amanda put my website, Be a Pal. That's where I'm a modern medical person, just learning some hacks from the ancient wisdom. I would say I'm a student of ancient wisdom. Even the little things I did marvelous things for me. That stroke I had. Really, all the people with the stroke, 60% of them, they become so disabled they will not be able to function after 6 months. Many of the bankruptcies are related to that, in the healthcare field. But because of my presence of mind, and also my micro yoga and breathing, these three things, I got out of that very severe stroke within a month. That was actually This is the day in 2014, August 23rd, is when I had it around, in the evening hours, and I was in my local hospital where, I'm already um, kind of, big. So that's why they made such a fuss. And then they sent me to the university right away in a helicopter. But they did not do anything apart from what they did here. And then the actual real paralysis developed overnight, where I could not move the left side completely. So everybody was thought I was done. I had a huge clinic, huge jobs in the hospital, and also so much was riding on me. So many people are employed with me and all that. So everybody thought I'm done. I'm not good. And I was just selected for a major job in the local, away from us, 20 miles away, a big hospital. So that was supposed to get me some more things and all that, right? But I got out of it, and my acceleration of turning inward, going inward, learning about myself, and kind of overcoming the desires, overcoming all the dirt and everything. That was, I think, that was the purpose why I was trooped out and then came back. And within a month, I was walking on my with the help of the cane, and then but I was doing my patients by myself. I was doing bathroom going, everything I did that. So uh, that's a story. I wrote it as a second chance. I have these books I wrote. I did not release them because there's a proper time for that. So that's the power of that ancient wisdom. So what I'm saying is, understand the modern medicine new developments, the genome, the microbiome, the genetics on the diet, all those newer things like a nuclear medicine, or you can understand the quantum mechanics and all those things, right? And bring that awareness into the care. That's what I want to present to a lot of people. And also go back how they lived in symbiosis with the nature. How did they have more purity of the atmosphere? How did they have this mental peace net, and then they don't have this neurological anxiety, depression, all that. So learn from that kind of. That's what I do. I live like a yogi, but I was a physician. So, but at the same time, I have family who enjoy the family life and all that. But the yogic lifestyle requires you to be closer to the nature, to understand your own natural rhythm, and be in compatibility with that. Then you have blessedness of good health and really happy, easy feeling within you. And then whatever difficulties come, you have this inner resilience. That is what I teach in my wellness club, inner resilience, so that you are not only physically strong, but also mentally alert, and you have compassion in your heart, and you will be in the present and enjoying whatever you do, right? So this afternoon, for example, I had a meeting with Amanda and one other friend who is helping us with our company, and we had discussed a lot of things that are related to the business. But my ability is, after the meeting is over, I may do some things, but that meeting is over. Immediately, I shut it down. Isn't that a good skill that you want to have? So for this, I think I need to have an answer. Do you want to live like that or not? First of all, did you understand what I said? Okay.
Yeah, could you kindly say the question again, Dr. Rao?
Yeah. It's about brain fog. When you do some business, for example, right? You take home points of that, you go execute them. But can you make your brain so focused on the new things that you are doing, the old things don't bother you because you let it go, because you live in moment to moment awareness, not having thoughts continuously, but using the thought by being there. So I had the meeting, we made some decisions, and then we worked on them. But the meeting, entire non details, unnecessary things are gone from my mind. So I kind of clean it up as the things are happening. I'm very pleased about it because at the end of the day, I'm still smiling. I still have the joy and energy to do stuff. This is what I taught Rakhi. She was doing multitasking, right? And I told her, don't do multitasking, just do only one task at a time. And then she was able to do a lot of stuff that day, and she was not tired. She was able to accomplish more with quality, but not having this mental depletion of energy. I think this is a very important point, very practical point. If you understand this, you will be very happy. That's all I want. Make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And there's a thing that they always say as well is that you should never get too attached to the outcome of a particular situation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's very true because goal mindedness, goal setting, and all this is made a big part, right? But actually, do the brainstorming. Okay, say, okay, I'm going to achieve and to this end, I'm going to do this and all. Then forget about the goal, focus on the process. The goal will be automatically attached. You don't have to live with the goal as you are in the process of doing the stuff. That's the trick. So you can establish, like, for example, I'm going to have this many people to be coaching as a burnout coach. That's okay. But then I don't want to be influenced by the goal or get sad if I don't get it. What I want to focus on is what are the things I plan to do that. And as I'm doing that steps, I'm completely with that step. Like I come here, I don't have a goal, but I just want to present my viewpoint of turning inward, why that is important. So I come here, then I don't pay attention to the comments, or I don't pay attention to how many people are here. Even one person here or no person here, I will talk the same way. I will explore the product. I want to deliver what I feel, and then I will deliver and let it fall wherever it is. And I leave the replay on. So if anybody wants to hear it later on, that's fine. So I'm focused on the process, on the each step I'm doing. So I have a, I think Amanda, you learned this. I think you may be doing this already. Pay attention to every action. Whatever you do, whatever, there will be so many steps for anything. For example, you get out of the bed, you go into the bathroom, for example. That means you have to sit up at the edge of the bed, you have to stand up and walk to the bathroom and then go, right? So each step you are doing, you just focus. Don't think about something else. Be here and now. That means you put your awareness first, and then in awareness, you will have thinking. But right now, what is happening? Thinking dominating you, and it will go wherever it wants to go. So you are doing something, you are thinking of something else, you are thinking of that is the multitasking that drains you. Instead, even few seconds you are doing a task, focus completely there. I call some of my close people chatterbox or scattered minds, you know. So actually, three Sanskrit words, if you listen, if you practice, ancient wisdom is in your hand. Okay, I will say in Sanskrit and explain to you in English. Mala vikshepa avarana. Mala means dirt in our mind. Like we want to achieve this, we are not able to, we are frustrated, we are kind of feel like below than other people. All this activity that is associated with the desire is the dirt that accumulates in our mind. Even the unnecessary stuff, gossip or politics, all those things, right? So get rid of them by focusing on the work you do as a service. The vikshepa means your mind is going all over. When you are doing one work, it's not there on that, but it is like going that way, this way, thinking about what happened yesterday, what is going to happen tomorrow, all that. Don't do that. Just focus on the work, whatever the small or big you're doing, completely. Like I'm with my friends this afternoon. I give complete attention to that. Attention to every action throughout the day. Then what happens is after the action is done, you just drop it because the next action comes up. you are focused on that completely, right? So that is done, then you are going to the next one, the same thing. So this is something I use with the patient care quite a lot, which is very important, right? So I give all my attention to the person in front of me. Okay, so that works very well for that. To keep that kind of mindset is very good for not have a burnout, because other doctors, they will be thinking of 100 things. Even though how much I train them, they will be doing. Then I have to teach them how to slow the thought now. The third word is avarana, which I talked about earlier. You have your real inner being, which is your abundant self within, but you cover it over with ego or your personality or like that. So you just have to understand that wheel and take it off to see who you really are. Once you establish in your real self, then you can use the thought as an instrument inner. You can use the body as an instrument outer. So outer instrument is the body, inner instrument is mind. Once you have that distinction, then you will enjoy the mind. You will make it show that is all the concentration, all the imagination, all the memory put together, so that it will become an asset for you. So this is where we call yourself will be your enemy or your best friend. That self change that we can have, that is the one that we talk about real yoga. Is that too much, or is it understandable?
It's definitely understandable.
Yeah, so that's the one I always talk about, and I'll try to live about it. That's why, you know what, Amanda, coming into rooms like this clubhouse from the beginning, because I never knew about monetization. I never knew about, get this money and all that. Even if I wanted to, I didn't know about that. But I didn't want it that much. So I was very eager to participate. I was very eager to present my things. Actually, in Clubhouse, I evolved about how can I speak briefly with more message in it. I used to speak lot of words, so many, but that has come with training. The first time when I got, they said you have to take only 2 3 minutes to talk. I said, "What? You are presenting a very very deep, profound question, and you want me to answer in 2 3 minutes?" I used to get annoyed. But later on, I took it as a challenge for myself. How can I be brief and be understood? How can I develop this? So over the years, 2.5 years I'm here, that's the biggest achievement I have from my own exercises, my own training of delivering whatever felt the truth. And that is going well now, because more people are able to understand me than in the beginning. In the beginning, they say, "Oh, it's all fluff. We don't want to do it." But then, when it is tied to your daily life, like I deal with modern problems, information overload, brain fog, overwhelm, stress, burnout, insomnia, indigestion, uh, no harmonious relationships, don't know how to raise the kids, and don't know how to handle yourself inside. All these are modern problems. So my textbook that I'm writing is called Modern Challenges and Ancient Solutions. So the first chapter is about why there is a global heat. I started 2 years ago the book, but so many things change now, right? So I'm kind of trying to incorporate the new ones. That's why that book is not released, because it's still work in progress. Even though the second chapter, I discuss all the chapters in the clubhouse. Second chapter is about wars. Why there are 50 wars happening all over the world all the time. At any given time, there are so many wars are happening. And then we go to the countries. Why the countries are divided? Where there's so much inequality in the world, and also in each country. And then we go to the corporations. Why the corporate culture is so non-compassionate, and then really contribute to a lot of pollution. Then we go to the family structure. What happened to the family? Why we are not have feeling everybody is my family? For me, as a yoga person, it is like the entire world is one family. So all the people who are here, Dharani may be my wife, but Amanda may be working with me. But then Alka is my friend. I've been talking to her for some time now. But all of them are part of my family. That is called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means Vasudha means entire world. He's my not just the human beings, but also the animals and the plants and all the life, right? So that kind of attitude. Then after the family, I go to the individual burnout, stress, why the individual is so miserable, having so much disasters happening, how they cannot come out of those kind of disasters and all that. So that's a big book. But where I examine is what is it in the modern era with so much of scientific advancement, we are not able to solve these simple wellness problems, living well with smartness. That's where proactive wellness I talk about. So that book is going to be probably my legacy of what I really want to say about things. It's already there if I just want to put it out, but I still now the newest data on the global heat is there. So when they read the book, they should understand these big problems very easily. And also, they should look at those solutions proposed that were not connected with technology, that were not connected with something you do outside you, but it's about yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? What is your understanding of you, the world, and all rest of the people here? That kind of thing. The ancient explored the inner realm much better because they have not based on the logic and statistics. They based on intuitive, deeper awareness of ourselves and how we behave with the life when the situations arise. So it's going to be an important book. I have to measure up to it. I have to honor it. That's why I'm taking my own time. Actually, it was all ready to be published, and then one of my friends started this Facebook group, which is still there. That's where we wanted to present everything and do that. I will do that, but then I was waiting for me to complete it. Then I wrote about burnout. Then I wrote about second chance, that's my recovery from the stroke. So this is like a 2014. I had that, Amanda, on August 23rd. Now this is 23. Okay, close 10 days, 10 years, right? 10 years. Yeah, I'm more healthy now than I was then. So I'm very happy about it. Does that make any sense, or is it like a crazy man talking? So let's welcome our friend Yoni here. So you see, there is a point here when we are the planet is threatened, and what kind of thing we're going to um, leave for the kids. That's a real concern, right? But some very good things are happening. There was a case won by kids on Montana. They sued the state government there that they are encouraging fossil fuels, and also they are not helping the alternative energy to really flourish. The court agreed with the kids and gave them the case. This is just a few days ago. So that's a really happy thing for me because I have been seeing this globalization thing, global heat thing from 1980s, and really aware of a lot of problems, fossil fuel and the consumerism, all this really all just doing stuff, all that really caused so many problems. There was a sage, the J. Krishnamurti said something about that. He said the fundamental problem is we have to have a revolution in our consciousness about the planet, what we understand, what we are aware of it. So a lot of people who care about the planet, they are aware. They try to do the best thing that they can do. They come to these rooms. I attend a lot of ecological rooms in this app. But main everybody talks about that this water. They're okay, but what's the fundamental thing is human beings in their inner awareness, understanding, they need a revolution about this because we are coming to a point where it is boiling, a boiling point. It used to be only global heat. Now we will call it as a global boiling point. And so much of rains, floods, and all that. You can see any country, so many countries affected like that. So okay. So I think it's beyond 7 o'clock. So any questions, any comments that I could address now? Okay. All right. I will stop here now for now, and then we will see again tomorrow evening. Okay. Thank you. I will take care of the camera thing now, Amanda. Okay. Okay. Thank you for coming up, and thanks, Alka and Yoni. I'll see you, rest of the people who attended here. So, okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.